All right, let's dive right in. We're on the border between Poland and Russia. The date, March 1st, 2026. And there's a new kind of war playing out. It's not about tanks or soldiers. Nope. This one's being fought with light switches and power grids. It's a massive geopolitical drama, and it all comes down to one revolutionary new piece of tech. And if you want to understand the human side of all this, you just have to listen. That's the sound of protesters in the Russian territory of Kaliningrad. It's a cry that comes from pure desperation, from seeing a reality so unequal it's sparked what the media is calling the energy riots.
And this slide, wow, it just lays it all out, doesn't it? On the left, you've got Kaliningrad and Russia. We're talking daily blackouts, insane energy bills, apartments so cold you can see your breath. Then, right across the border in Poland, it's another universe. Power is stable, costs are slashed in half, and they even get free public heating. One side is literally in the dark, and the other is thriving. So what in the world is going on here?
Well, the answer is sitting right there, on NATO's eastern flank, and it was put there by the U.S. military. It's part of a demonstration they're calling Project Aurora Shield, and it's a piece of tech so powerful they've nicknamed it the Energy Fortress.
So the secret sauce here is something called SCO2, or supercritical carbon dioxide. And this is where things get really wild. You take regular CO2 and you heat it and pressurize it to a point where it's not really a gas anymore, but it's not a liquid either. It becomes this weird, dense fluid that can spin a turbine with insane efficiency. We're talking about a generator that's super powerful, but also quiet and small enough to fit in a shipping container.
Now just look at this comparison. It shows you what a massive leap we're talking about. Your old-school diesel generator, it's clunky, loud, and wastes most of its fuel. It's a big, easy target. The SCO2 Fortress, on the other hand, is almost twice as efficient. It's so quiet and cool, it's practically invisible. It even recycles its own waste heat. But the craziest part? You can get one of these things up and running in just 30 minutes. And that's exactly what they do. In less time than it takes to order a pizza, the U.S. military can airdrop one of these containers, throw up some defensive walls, hook it up to a gas line, and boom, you've created an independent island of power. It's totally separate from the main grid, which means it's incredibly resilient. This isn't just a new generator, it's a whole new way of thinking about energy on the battlefield.
So where did this radical strategy even come from? Well, to get that, we have to rewind a bit and travel from Europe to the Middle East to the ruins of post-conflict Tehran.
So after a major military operation in Iran, the U.S. decided to try something different. Instead of spending years and billions trying to rebuild the country's entire power grid, they just didn't. Instead, they dropped these CO2 units at a few key spots: a hospital, a major square, a government building. And just like that, they created these energy islands, pockets of light, internet, and stability in a city that was otherwise completely dark. The psychological impact was just massive. The message was clear: the U.S. brings light and order. The old guys, they brought darkness and chaos.
And this is the real game changer. You're looking at a fundamental shift in U.S. foreign policy. The old way, nation building, was slow, messy, and cost a fortune. This new Tehran model, or as the experts are calling it, node control, is the complete opposite. It's fast, it's surgical, and it's way cheaper. I mean, why bother trying to rebuild an entire country when you can just control the handful of nodes that really matter?
And you better believe this isn't just a tactic for war zones. The Tehran model is going global. It's quickly becoming the blueprint for a whole new American strategy on the world stage. And you can see it popping up everywhere. In Venezuela, they're using this tech to supercharge oil production, and the U.S. gets a cut. In Asia, it's the foundation of a new security deal with allies to push back against China. In the Arctic, it's powering mines to get the rare minerals needed for AI chips. It's like the U.S. is shifting its business model, from being the world's policeman to becoming the world's go-to energy and security service provider.
Okay, so all of this, the crazy new tech, the riots in Kaliningrad, this new foreign policy, it's all building to a climax. And that climax is happening next week at a high-stakes summit in Helsinki. This is where the energy fortress stops being a tool of war and becomes the ultimate weapon of diplomacy.
And it all boils down to this one question. Think about it. This is the exact problem facing Russia's President Putin as he gets ready to meet with President Trump. Russia, this country that thinks of itself as an energy superpower, actually has a crumbling ancient power grid. And America? America just so happens to have the magic box that can fix it.
So the deal on the table is pretty simple, really. Trump is offering to sell Russia the very CO2 tech that could save its economy from collapse. But in return, he wants a massive concession, a Russian withdrawal from occupied land in Ukraine. Now, Putin is interested for sure, but he's terrified of giving the US a remote off switch to his entire country's power grid.
See, this isn't about a simple one-and-done deal. The experts are calling it power cycle diplomacy. The whole point is to hook a rival's economy onto American technology, locking them into a dependency that could last for decades and completely change the balance of power for a generation. Which brings us to one last pretty chilling question. In a world of energy fortresses and node control, a world where another country can literally flip the switch on your lights and your heat, what does being a sovereign nation even mean anymore? The rules of power are being rewritten, not with ink on a treaty, but with electrons on a wire.